Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And on this stream, we take a look at the world through an industrial lens. We'll have a listen and a look at the news of the week. Then we'll see a few articles on what's going on in skilled trades. We'll check out our accident report. And then we'll have picture time, everyone's favorite time. It's picture time. But before we get to that, I just want to say hello to you, Fabric Folds. I see you're going to be on your drive home. Be safe there, buddy, and have a good drive. And hey, it's Godzillionaire. Fabric's going to be screaming at the windshield when he can't reply in chat. Well, he could do text to speech. That doesn't work out very well sometimes, but it's an option. But he also said his old truck has all the electronics of a mid-'80s Army surplus vehicle. So I'm pretty sure it probably has a cigarette lighter. Maybe that's about it. Maybe an AM radio. I've been there too. I've owned one of those trucks. I had a 1985 Dodge D100. And it had AM radio and a cigarette lighter. That was it. No AC, no power windows, no nothing. It was, you open the air dampers and you let the cold air in as you're driving down the highway. Text to speech, stupid phone. It's never duck or witch. Exactly, Godzillionaire. Yeah. Alrighty, let's get along to the news here. I saw a few interesting pieces that they're writing up, so I hope you guys will like these as well. No AC, that's a war crime down here. Hey, it happens. A lot of vehicles, well, they used to be the older one. This is a 1985, so it didn't come with. But it did have the Dodge Slant 6, which was like indestructible engine. So that thing just ran and ran and ran. And I didn't even know how many kilometers it had on it because the odometer only went up to like six places. So I couldn't even tell how much it had on it. But good truck. If finally somebody wanted to buy it off me and I sold it, and that was the end of that. There we go. Plant Magazine. Let's have a look what these guys have to say. I saw something in here that's going to get things going, I bet. Canada invests $23 million to support Siemens battery manufacturing R&D in Canada. So what this headline says to me is Canadian government pays private business to keep their business here. That's what that says to me. There are guys down here that will design and mold custom AC retrofits for classic cars. You can't look cool in the classic Mustang if you're sweating through your shirt. That's true, Godzillionaire. Yep. That would be big business down there, I would think, eh? Guys doing retrofits for classic cars. They they want it to look stock and whatnot. So yeah, that would be quite the task. Let's see here. The federal government is investing $23 million to support a Siemens Canada project aimed at advancing battery manufacturing technologies, part of a broader $70 million phase within a $150 million initiative. So this is a small drop in the bucket of a bigger phase, which is part of a giant initiative. Announced April 21st at Hannover Messe. Funding provided through the Strategic Response Fund will support the expansion of Siemens' global AI Manufacturing Technologies Research and Development Center for battery production in Canada. According to the company, the center focuses on automotive-related R&D intended to improve battery efficiency and production methods and to support the commercialization of advanced manufacturing technologies. Siemens said the expanded facility will develop technologies designed to address key challenges across the global battery sector and strengthen Canada's position within the battery value chain. The project is expected to maintain approximately 3,310 existing Siemens jobs in Canada, while creating 90 new full-time positions and 625 co-op placements. So, co-op placements, that's where they hire university students. But only 90 new full-time positions? That's pretty weak. Federal officials said the investments support Canada's role in the integrated North American automotive supply chain and aligns with the country's new auto strategy. Announced earlier this year, the project builds on a recent joint declaration between Canada and Germany aimed at encouraging new investment in Canada's electric vehicle sector. Well, okay. That reminds you, you need to find and send me the Migrants versus Robots article. Yes, please do, Godzillionaire. Send that to me and we'll have a look over it. Yeah, 90 new HR jobs. That's probably what it is. Yo, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? How you doing, DJ? You on your way home? Did you skip work today? What'd you do? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. We will talk about the trades. We could talk about any trade you like. Okay, so that was that. So pretty much Canada, the Canadian government's paying Siemens to stay here and do their research and development. Whether or not it'll have any satisfactory outcome, or it's just a big corporate payoff, I don't know. But seems to me that's what it could be leading to. You know, if all of a sudden they're like, oh, look, what's happening in the world of batteries. You're sinking all this money into it. Make a battery that costs, $1,000 and lasts for 20 years. Do that. If you can't do that, then you guys are a bunch of failures. So that's what they should be doing. You just got home. All right, DJ. Good. Safe ride home. The Manufacturers Association head joins the Canada-U.S. Economic Advisory Committee. That doesn't seem like a interesting one. Carney says the U.S. can't dictate the terms of trade talks ahead of the Kuzma review. Oh, this ought to be good. Number one moron here. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the United States won't dictate the terms of negotiations on the Continental Trade Deal, but it will take time to reach an agreement. Carney was responding to Radio-Canada report, citing officials who said Americans are imposing an entry fee on trade talks with Canada and are demanding concessions before negotiations begin. Janice Charest, Canada's chief trade negotiator with the U.S., said on Tuesday Canada already has made significant concessions by dropping the digital services tax, issuing millions of dollars in refunds to tech companies, and ending retaliatory tariffs. A recent report from the Office of the United States Trade Representative cities cites some provinces not stocking American alcohol and high tariffs on some American dairy products as trade irritants with Canada. That alcohol one, that sounds like that Ontario thing. That's a Doug Ford thing. That guy needs a slap up the side of the head. Tell him to smarten up. Stop being so cheap and petty. About dairy products, I don't know. I haven't seen much of anything about that. Carney has promised to protect Canada's supply management system for dairy, poultry, and eggs during free trade talks with the U.S. The U.S. is also pushing back against the Buy Canadian policy, which gives priority to Canadian products and workers on projects worth more than $25 million. I know Carney is going to talk tough, but it's not going to mean much of anything. Also, he's going to turn this country into a third world country, so that's his goal. That's his mandate. He has been told by his masters that he is to turn every country that he's touched into a third world country. Just look at England. He was the president of the Bank of England. And look where they are now. So now you've taken that guy who's ruined England and put him here in Canada. He is going to ruin this country. So it's all going according to plan. And I don't like it. And you can call it out, but nobody does anything about it. The only good thing is that Alberta should just separate, go our own way, and hopefully we can be a prosperous province, our own prosperous country, rather than bowing down to those morons back east. Hammond Manufacturing opens Western Canada distribution. I don't know what Hammond Manufacturing makes, so let's have a look here. Hammond Manufacturing, a manufacturer of electrical enclosures, has opened its new Western Canada Regional Distribution Center in Calgary, Alberta. The new 55,000 square foot facility represents a significant investment in Hammond's commitment to service excellence, product availability, and reliable lead times across Western Canada. Located in Calgary, the facility will now serve as the primary distribution hub for our electrical enclosure customers in British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, enabling faster delivery and improved support for regional partners. We are thrilled to expand our presence in Western Canada with the opening of our Calgary Distribution Center, said Sarah Hansen, Western Regional Sales Manager for Hammond Manufacturing, in a media release. For our customers in Western Canada, this means faster access to the enclosures they rely on and increased support for end users alike. Funny how they opened it up here in Alberta and not in British Columbia. Probably due to how much land costs and how high taxes are. So if we can attract businesses here with lower business taxes, I'm all for it. Hey, what's going on? It's Gween Imp. What's up, Gween? Good to see you over on the Twitch side. We just started the stream here, going through some news of the week. Here's one. Shell to acquire ARC Resources in a $22 billion deal. So Shell. What is Shell buying these guys for? And what do they do? You're chilling, listening to while you hit the RL tourney? Hey, nice. Right on, Gween. ARC Resources says it has entered into a definitive agreement to be acquired by Shell plc in a stock and cash transaction valued at approximately $22 billion, including assumed debt. According to a press statement from ARC, the agreement would see Shell acquire all of the company's issued and outstanding shares, bringing together ARC's natural gas assets in the Montney Formation in northeastern British Columbia and northwestern Alberta with Shell's existing Canadian operations. Under the terms of the agreement, ARC shareholders would receive a mix of Shell shares and cash in exchange for each ARC share. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2026, subject to shareholder, court, and regulatory approvals, including under the Investment Canada Act. ARC said its board of directors has unanimously approved the transaction and will recommend that shareholders vote in favor at a special meeting expected in July 2026. Well, that's a lot of money from Shell, so yeah, of course the directors are going to be like, yes, let's sell everything. Shell said the acquisition would strengthen its integrated natural gas business in Canada. The company is the lead partner in LNG Canada, the liquefied natural gas export facility in Kitimat, which began operations last year and sources gas from Western Canada. ARC said it expects to continue paying its regular quarterly dividend prior to closing, subject to board approval. Okay, so they deal in natural gas. So Shell buying these guys so they can have more natural gas market. Calian signs more than $200 million in defense-related contracts during the second quarter. Well, they did say they were going to spend more on national defense, so I'm quite curious. Calian Group says that it signed more than $200 million in new, renewed, and extended contracts to support the Canadian defense industry during the second quarter of its 2026 fiscal year. According to a company press release, the contracts span multiple areas, including advanced manufacturing and engineering services, military training, health services, information technology, and space-related capabilities. Like, they mean outer space? Space-related? Calian said the manufacturing and engineering work involves support for defense, original equipment manufacturers, contributing to domestic supply chains, and the sustainment of mission-critical equipment. The company said the contracts were signed as Canada reached the NATO target of spending 2% of GDP on defense. And as recruitment within the Canadian Armed Forces increased, Calian said demand has grown across several defense support areas, leading to new contract awards, extensions, and program expansions. Wow, we've only made it up to spending 2% of GDP. Woof. Thanks, Trudeau, you dope. You're the one that did all that. Yeah, or cyberspace. I don't know, DJ. Maybe. But that's it for the news, it looks like. Anything of any real interest to me. Let's move along here. Bump. There we go. Skilled trades stigma fades amid workforce crunch. So it's like they're screaming for people. And it's like, well, maybe the trades aren't so bad after all. Yeah. And now you're just saying that now. Anyways, this is from the place called Village Report. Midland. For those of a certain generation, the term skilled trades has a pejorative overtone. Once considered one of the only options for those who didn't qualify for university, the skilled trades have been at the center of a blooming crisis for more than 2 decades. This actually, I heard about this in the 90s when I was going to my trade school. In 1992, my instructor at my trade school was saying, the older guys are retiring. You're going to be able to pick and choose your jobs. It's going to be bad because a lot of them are retiring. So I was hearing this back in 1992. And while the issue of the has been top of mind for government and industry officials for years, it's reaching a breaking point due to the huge numbers of baby boomers who are retiring. A long-term societal push towards university over college or skilled trades and increased demand for infrastructure projects. Guys, you know I always mention about demographics. You can follow on a demographic chart, every decade or every 5 years. Gee, who's the biggest demographic? Oh, boomers. Oh, okay. When are they going to retire? Oh, these years. Okay. Who's coming up after them? Oh, Gen X. Oh, not enough. Oh, what about after them? Millennials. Oh, they're not going to be be able to take over because of all the boomers that are retiring. So it's just something that these guys just didn't have the foresight to look into. Derided by many with no actual experience in the field, skilled trades were considered by many to be dirty or menial, not adjectives many folks want to have associated with their livelihood. According to Ruth Walker Scott, a senior officer with Simcoe County's Economic Development Office. Simcoe's in Ontario, in case you guys are wondering. The stigma associated with skilled trades still exists, but it's become less of an issue as more people discover how ubiquitous these skilled trades really are. A lot of these $4 words they're using here. We had pejorative, we have ubiquitous. Somebody pulled out their thesaurus while they were writing this. I would say it still exists to some extent with certain generations or certain individuals that maybe haven't had the exposure to today's skilled trades environment, she said this week during a lull in the Simcoe County Skilled Trades Fair at Georgian College's Midland campus. Once people start to see and really understand the opportunities that are out there, they quickly discover these are not lesser roles, said Walker Scott. It's not the default route for someone who may not be good at academics. Organized by the county and Georgian College, the Skilled Trades Fair was a day-long event that was divided into 2 distinct parts. A morning session for high school students and an afternoon session for the general public and job seekers. According to Walker Scott, the morning session attracted more than 300 high school students. They are students who have expressed an interest in learning more about the skilled trades, Walker Scott said. They work in Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, OYAP. Coordinators from both school boards who organize their attendance and their tours of the different areas and labs that are part of the fair. According to the Skilled Trades Ontario, a skilled trade is a specialized, hands-on occupation recognized by the province comprising 144 designated trades. categorized under construction: electrician, plumber, carpenter, industrial, millwright, machinist, motive power, automotive technology, and service, cook, hairstylist sectors. Of the 144 trades, 23 require a certificate of qualification or registered with Skilled Trades Ontario to work legally. Others are voluntary, where certification is beneficial but not mandatory. A big part of the attraction of Thursday's fair was the opportunity to get one-on-one time with a couple of dozen potential employers, including the Ontario Provincial Police, the Canadian Armed Forces, Rudy Mack Survey, the Midland Pentaguishene Home Builders Association, Napoleon, and Thermogenics. Some of these names. One potential employer, Jeff Argue Landscaping, out of Wabashin, has mixed feelings about his participation. On the one hand, he was thrilled to be able to interact with a large number of potential employees, but on the other hand, he was disappointed that he was only talking to a fraction of the high school demographic. I mean, yeah, you can be disappointed, but you know what? At least you're talking to somebody. I think we got a lot of interest because we're an industry most of them would recognize. Argue said, most of them don't really know what we do. He listed off some of the trades landscaping firms require on a regular basis, from masons who build retaining walls and heavy equipment operators who run backhoes and excavators, to surveyors who lay out designs and horticulturalists who tend the plants. My only disappointment is that I'm not talking to all of the students, just the ones who have expressed an interest in skilled trades, he said. What I'd really like is the chance to talk to all of them. I mean, if they're not interested, you can't force them. Sure, you want them to listen, but you're talking to high schoolers. Like, what's their attention span? 3 seconds? He feels if there's an opportunity for folks like him, independent skilled business owners who have decades of experience to get in front of the entire school population and tell their stories, the need for skilled workers would lessen. If you put 6 guys like me in front of the kids and let us tell our life stories from the day we left school through our apprenticeships to our working lives, we would give the entire spectrum of experiences. They'd see that there are many opportunities to make a good living and enjoy what you're doing. That's what they really need to hear. I agree. It's a good idea, and more places should do it. But we got to remember that there might be sabotage from universities that don't want them to know about. They don't want the high school students to know that there's other opportunities other than university or college. So you're fighting against that as well. All right, let's move along to the next one here. This is from the CBC. This is our national news organization. It's decidedly left-leaning. It's not something that I pay a lot of attention to, but they had this story here. The Carney government proposes $6 billion to hire 100,000 new skilled trades workers. So it proposes $6 billion. So it's not a for sure thing. They're just throwing it out there. Well, what if we spend $6 billion to hire some trades workers? It's not a for sure thing. This is just yapping from the government. So take the article with a grain of salt. The CBC is owned by the federal government. So the federal government is pushing to build up Canada's skilled trades and tackle youth unemployment by proposing $6 billion over 5 years to recruit, train, and hire up to 100,000 new trades workers under a flagship measure called Team Canada Strong. Also, only 100,000? That's it? Those are weak numbers. Weak, I say. Too few young Canadians are entering the trades, missing out on well-paid jobs and long-term financial security. The federal government's spring economic update said. It added that Canada needs a new approach. That new approach is being framed as a streamlined process which addresses key obstacles in a worker's journey, from their first interest in the skilled trades to becoming a Red Seal certified. The goal is to cut the time it takes to get certified by half. Oh, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't think that cutting your time down is going to make better tradesmen. Oy. The Red Seal program sets common standards to assess the skills of tradesmen across Canada and works in partnership with the federal government and provinces and territories, which are responsible for apprenticeship training and certification in their regions. Of the $6 billion, 1/3 is dedicated to increasing the number of young people recruited into the trades over the next 5 years, plus $262 million per year after that time period. Canadians aged 15 to 30 can join the Team Canada Strong program, which will provide them with paid entry-level trades-related work experience that leads into apprenticeship, according to federal government. Paid entry-level trades-related work experience that leads into apprenticeship. Huh. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Good to see you. The government is also proposing the Build Canada Apprenticeship Service, which would help employers hire, train, and retain apprentices by providing wage subsidies of up to $10,000 for an apprentice's first year salary. To further bolster Canada's skilled trades training systems, the federal government is pitching up to $331 million over 5 years, plus $18 million per year after that, to boost and modernize apprenticeship training for a faster journey to the Red Seal. Don't do it. Don't do it. Millwrighting, I can speak to my trade. It takes 4 years. It's not that long. It's only 4 years. Don't try to do it in 2. You're missing out. You're slapping in the face people that have come before. They've had to put in their 8,000 hours. Don't slash it to 4. You're going to get a bunch of terrible tradesmen. Federal government also proposes expanding the Union Training and Innovation Program, enabling union-run training centers to upgrade facilities, expand capacity, and invest in modern equipment. Finally, the federal government is proposing $3.4 billion over 5 years, plus $468 million per year after that, to address the challenges that can stop apprentices from completing their training and moving into permanent jobs. That's a lot of money. I mean, they just have to want the job. You have to want to be there. You have to want to do it. You can't force somebody to be in the trades. That includes an apprenticeship training grant, which will provide apprentices with a weekly income top-up of $400 per week while they attend mandatory technical training, for a total payment of up to $16,000 per apprentice, in addition to employment insurance. The other proposed solution is a one-time $5,000 bonus for apprentices who obtain certification in a Red Seal trade, plus income support for those between training and work. Hey, how you doing, Veritex? Nice to see you. All these proposals come as young Canadians continue to face a challenging labor market. According to StatsCan, the unemployment rate for Canadians between the ages of 15 and 24 rose to 14.1% in February, up from 13.3% at the end of 2025. According to the Economic Update, Canada will need 1.4 million additional trades workers by 2033. And if nothing changes, the country will face a persistent gap of more than 20,000 skilled trades workers per year. And I'm okay with this, you guys. You're probably looking at me going, Pop, what, are you crazy? You're gonna have not as much trades workers. But then I can go where I want to go. So if I want to leave where I am now and go somewhere else, I can. All I have to do is go, here's my Red Seal, and I have, 30 years of experience in the trades. I want to work for you guys. And they'll be like, come on in. So that's why I like that. Veritex, you went to a job fair. You talked to a lot of people, not just about software, but trades. A lot of companies will train, even entry level. Forklift, for example. One school's dining service described it as. Oh, there you go. Entry level forklift. Hey, Aris, how you doing? Good to see you. Just describe it as getting to learn, because each dining hall has its own executive chef, so you could learn on the job. Yeah, that does sound good. Good for you for talking about the trades with them too, Veritex. It's important. It's important to me. I've been doing this for 181 episodes. So yeah. Must be important if I keep yapping it up. Let's see here. Oh, the federal government also said it will work closely with provinces and territories, Indigenous partners, employers, unions, and the Canadian Armed Forces to achieve rapid scale, high-quality training and strong completion rates for apprenticeships. Well, okay, that's all right. Alongside the $6 billion for young Canadians in the skilled trades, the federal government is also proposing new pathways to the skilled trades through the Canadian Armed Forces. Thanks for throwing that in there, DJ. Yes, Aris can be found there. He does streaming on YouTube as well. You want to watch him play some games, you check out what Aris is doing. The economic update includes a proposal to provide $250 million over 5 years and $45 million per year after that to expand Canada's skilled trades training capacity through the Canadian Armed Forces. Ottawa is also pushing for earlier exposure to trades through the Cadets and Junior Canadian Rangers programs, including enhanced experiences and clearer connections to reserve-based trade pathways. Partnerships with helmets to hard hats. Colleges and universities will help participants transition directly into apprenticeships, strengthening early talent pipelines into the skilled trades, the economic update said. The federal government also wants to establish a reserve trades experience pilot program, which will offer fully funded trades training alongside paid part-time experience on critical infrastructure and resilience projects. Participants will commit to a period of reserve service in exchange for subsidized education, strengthening both Canada's skilled workforce and defense capacity, the update said. Okay, well, this is too little, too late. They should have been doing this 20 years ago. But what do you want, right? The government drags its feet until it's a catastrophe or someone's panicking. So this shouldn't be any surprise to anybody. Okay, that's it for that one. Well, you know what? Now it's time for accident investigation. Yes, indeed. And on today's accident investigation, a worker is fatally injured in a fall from an aerial platform. And this applies to me because I've used a lot of these aerial platforms. And it just goes to show you that the right tool for the right job, and always exercise your right for a stop work. So up here in Alberta, it's legislated that people can call for a stop work on any job that is dangerous. Things are going badly. Things have a chance to take a turn for the worse. There's stop work, and you issue a stop work, and that's supposed to keep everybody safe. But let's see what happened here. This happened in July of 2020. An electrician was in the process of disconnecting power to a dust collector located outside, adjacent to the wall of a building. The electrician was on an aerial platform mounted on a forklift and was being raised to position for the task by a forklift operator. The aerial platform tipped, and the electrician fell onto the concrete surface below, striking their head. Background information. Employer number 1 was Cano Coatings, small employer with 8 employees and a manufacturer of specialty coating and paint products for the building industry. They was in the process of moving their existing facility in Calgary to another one in Calgary. The electrician was in the process of disconnecting the electrical connections to a dust collector located outside the current shop. The electrician was assigned to Cano Coatings by the sister company Pinkwood Cano Coatings. Employer number 2, Pinkwood Limited, Calgary-based medium-sized employer and manufacturer of specialty wood eye joists for use in residential housing and commercial buildings. They were sister companies. Pinkwood and Cano Coatings are sister companies. Operations manager was the general manager Oh, so Pinkwood's operations manager was the general manager of Cano Coatings. They hired the electrician mainly to assist Cano Coatings to move to the new location. The electrician was a journeyman electrician and was hired by Pinkwood on July 1st, 2020. The electrician had 10 years of experience as an electrician and was given an orientation. The day of the incident was the first day at the new Cano Coatings location. The electrician received instructions to work on Cano Coatings relocation work. The forklift operator had been in Cano Coatings for 10 years. They had 15 years of experience as a forklift operator and had been recertified as a forklift operator in March of 2020. Forklift operator also did general labor and supervision in the shop. The forklift operator was instructed to help the electrician. The general manager had been with Cano Coatings for 10 years, and he had 20 years of experience in the manufacturing sector and was certified to train forklift operators. The general manager was also the operations manager of the other company. He hired and orientated the electrician and trained and certified the forklift operator. The general manager was in the office at the location where the incident occurred and was informed by the forklift operator. Okay, here we go. There's the work site. It was at the backyard of the old Cano Coating building. The dust collector was located adjacent to the rear wall of the building. The workers were in the process of disconnecting the electrical power on the dust collector. The forklift was on the concrete surface behind the dust collector. Well, there it is. Let's get a little closer in shot here. There's the dust collector right there. Why did he climb? Okay, so there is a framework holding up, but it doesn't look like it has a catwalk or anything around it, which is poor design. Thanks, engineers out there. There's the concrete surface. Doesn't look like much of a concrete. It almost looks like they just kind of dumped concrete on the ground. That is not a well-made pad at all. But yeah, there's no... Oh, there is a ladder, it looks like, up the side. But they must have had the electrical where he couldn't reach it from the catwalk. Looks like there's a ladder there up the side. And then there's a catwalk on the side here, but not around the front side here where the forklift is. Okay, so there is a catwalk, but it's not in a good spot. You wonder how much one could sell their dust collection for? Oh, probably a pretty penny. That's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, it's quote-unquote pavement. The forklift used to lift the electrician was a Manitou rough terrain forklift. They purchased it in 2013. It's regularly maintained by Levitt Machinery. It's suitable for outdoor use. Yeah, I mean, it's got an enclosed cab. It looks like it's quite possibly be four-wheel drive. So that's what you need out there. You need a four-wheel drive forklift, and it's quite large. Here's the aerial platform. The platform used the electrician was a U-line forklift aerial platform, 48 by 40 inch model, equipped with guardrails and slots under the platform. It was designed to use with a forklift with matching forks. It was purchased in September 2018. The forks on the Manitou were too wide to match the slots under the platform. The platform was equipped with a retainer chain. So there it is there. So here's our first problem. You guys can see it right now. Those forks are way too wide to go into those fork pockets that are right there. They have the wrong forklift to use for that thing. Or, conversely, they have the wrong aerial platform to use with that forklift. They should have got someone to cut those fork pockets off and install wider C-channel. That's what I would have done. Cut those off, you get yourself some wider C-channel, and you weld them on. And then you get the engineering to check it out and all that stuff. You have to do that kind of stuff. More like a death lift? Yes. So you tell me how that's going to stay on there. As soon as he leans to one side, that thing's flipping off those forks. There's nothing to hold it there. It's either that or you weld a plate on the bottom all the way from one fork pocket to the other of like 1/4 inch, and then you use it like that. You could use it like that if they would have welded a piece of plate on the bottom of that. It's aerial, all right. Flies right off the fork. I know, DJ. That's the thing. So that's right away. You look at this and you're like, okay, would you get on that? Would you get on that with this? Like, there's no, like his lanyard is still on there. He attached it there. Or was it attached to him? Because if you were wearing your harness, you would have pulled that whole thing on top of yourself. Anyways, let's read what happened, these series of events here. The broken retainer chain. This looks like a snap hook to me. Like, that's just not right at all. That thing's just wrecked. Could you bolt a plate with like 4 bolts on each side? Like I say, I would have put a plate on the very bottom, but stretched it across the whole length of the aero platform, and that way those forks sticking through the middle wouldn't be able to roll off them. Okay, here's the sequence of events. Here we go. On July 2020, the Pinkwood operations manager asked the electrician to report to work at the Cano Coatings facility to disconnect power to the dust collector. With the help of the forklift operator, the electrician arrived at the coatings facility in the morning and met with the general manager and the forklift operator. The forklift operator brought the forklift with the forklift aerial platform to the east side of the shop where the electrician was. Together, they discussed the work and placed the aerial platform on the forks of the forklift and used the retainer chain to hold the platform to the forklift. The forks of the forklift did not fit in the fork pockets under the aerial platform. The forks were placed together between the fork pockets. Right away. That's it. Stop right there. Don't even. As soon as you can't get your fork in the fork pocket, stop what you're doing. Translation: should have just borrowed a scissor lift. Yeah, you could always do that, Vertex. There's a lot of rental places. It's like, hey, I need a rough terrain scissor lift. Can you get me one? And they would have got him one. Or a straight arm aerial platform. Like they call them genie booms. Forks were placed together between the fork pockets. At around 9:30 a.m., the forklift operator drove the forklift to the location of the dust collector and met the electrician. The electrician entered the aerial platform, and the operator raised the aerial platform at the forks to position the electrician to reach the electrical box for the dust collector. At around 9:38 a.m., the electrician moved to the left side of the platform to signal the forklift operator where the aerial platform should be. The platform tipped, the retainer chain broke, and the electrician was thrown out of the aerial platform to the concrete surface below, sustaining a head injury. Forklift operator called for help from the general manager and the other workers who arrived on the scene. They called 911. Emergency medical services arrived on the scene, provided assistance to the injured electrician, transported the electrician to the hospital. The electrician was declared deceased on July the 11th. All right, so what day was this? July 7th. July 8th. Okay, so July 8th, and on the 11th he was deceased. A review of enforcement action was completed, and it was determined that the file would refer to Alberta Justice for review. The entire file was sent to Alberta Justice. After a thorough review, Alberta Justice advised OHS charges were not recommended. I'm surprised about that. I'm really surprised. I definitely would have went after the general manager and the forklift operator. I still don't get it though. If you're wearing a harness and lanyard and this thing tips, you're falling out. There's the harness. It's hooked on down there. You're pulling this whole thing onto yourself. But he fell and he hit his head on this concrete. Well, that's probably his hard hat and everything. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I have one of these. I used one of these where I am now, but we have a forklift that fits in the fork pockets. We have chains on both sides that wrap around the mast of the forklift, or not the mast, but the this thing here, the headache rack. So we have safety chains that hook onto that. It's very sturdy. It's a good piece of equipment if used properly. This is not used properly. Yeah, Alex, hell of an injury. I mean, and completely avoidable. I mean, Veritex had it right, you know. You could have just got a scissor lift. That probably would have been even better. The fact he wouldn't have had to tie up this guy, the forklift operator's time, if they would have just rented one. They're not expensive. You know, if you rent it for a day, there you go. But yeah, that's oh man, what a way to go. I mean, this thing looks bent and twisted anyway. And they bought it from Uline. I don't know if that's the first place I'd go to get stuff like this. Yeah, as soon as the forks don't fit in the fork pockets, stop everything. And look at these. You can tell they don't keep their equipment in good shape. Those forks are razor sharp and they're all bent and twisted. This thing's probably never had any maintenance done to it at all. You're supposed to have them so the forks are all snub-nosed and they're not razor sharp, so they cut you. The headache rack or the backrest is all beat all to hell. So you can tell how they treat this thing. My forklift that I use at work does not look like this. It is way better condition. It's treated way better than these guys treat theirs. It looks like it even has extenders welded on it so they can lift taller loads. You're not supposed to modify anything without engineer's approval. But these guys did, so. Yeah, there's that. What else we got here? Yeah. Honestly, rough terrain scissor lift. Boom, you're done that job and you're still alive. Let's zoom in a little more here. As much as we can anyway. Sure doesn't let you zoom in a lot. Or we could even go back to the design of the whole thing, and if they would have had a catwalk around the whole perimeter here, yeah, they wouldn't even had to use that. He could have just climbed up the ladder and disconnected it and called it good. Just a waste. A waste over something like that. You're not using the right tool for the right job. Even with a chain wrapped around it and it broke, because look how thin that is. That is just a tiny, I swear that's a snap hook. They should have used something a little more robust. But it's got the side pull. That's how it did it. It just bent that thing like nothing. Bent it off to the side, and that was it. Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we head over to picture time? Yeah, it's picture time, everybody. It's picture time. It's picture time. But before we get to picture time, I have a new background. It's time to play Guess the Background. Anybody have any idea what show this background is from? Anybody? It was a great show. I liked it. Hey, Veritax gets it. Yes, Veritax. It is 86. Not 87. 86. Good guess, man. Right on. Good for you. A great show. Very underrated. I would definitely recommend people, if you like mecha and post-apocalyptic world, watch 86. It has best waifu Vladlena in it. So that's her right there in the white hair. You was 80 something. Yeah, right on, man. Right on. Good for you. Well, looks like I have to put up another one for next week. Good job on Veritax, though, getting that. I do like me some 86. All right. So to match up with the theme of the stream today, and I've don't do that. There we go. So the theme of this, the title here of the stream is Make Improvements, and you should always try to do that. If you're in the maintenance field, meaning your job is to repair things and such, is try to make things better. If you come across stuff that's just barely hanging in there or it's average, make a note to yourself and think, you know what, I'm going to make that just a little bit better. The two most dangerous times for any plant which works with chemicals: when the plant is being started up and when the plant is being decommissioned. Yep. You got her, Veritax. Yeah, commissioning a plant, like starting it up, that's when you find a lot of problems. And yes, decommissioning, when things are being taken apart because they don't know what's been done. You learned that watching the H2S release in West Virginia last week. Oh, there was an H2S release? Do you know what company it was? Because I'd be interested in that. We should actually have a peek and see if there's any news about that. Let's see. Catalyst refiners. Okay. Is this it here, Veritex? 2 dead in chemical release in West Virginia manufacturing facility. More than 30 people sought medical care, including one who was in critical condition after the incident at a Silver Catalyst facility in Kanawha County. Not the first time this plant had an incident, but 2 fatalities. They should be under more scrutiny then, if they're dealing with this. I mean, where I work, we're under a lot of scrutiny, and we don't have any releases. 2 people died and 1 in critical condition Wednesday after a chemical release at a West Virginia plant slated for closure. Oh, okay. The incident occurred at 946 at Catalyst Refiners Institute in Kanawha County. Authorities said in a news release. More than 30 people sought medical treatment after the incident at the plant, which manufactures Silver Catalyst, including 7 EMS workers in some of the surrounding area. The 2 dead workers, Ames Goldsmith Corp. President Frank Barber said, they were found dead at the scene when first responders arrived. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango said a chemical reaction occurred during a cleaning and decontamination process at the plant. 2 chemicals, M2000A and nitric acid, were mixed in a pump area while workers were decommissioning a tank, causing an explosion. Segment described the incident as a violent reaction that instantaneously overcame the workers. Well, yeah, I guess so. The facility was in the process of shutting down its operations and cleaning the facility after the reaction created hydrogen sulfide, a toxic flammable gas, according to the release. The spokesperson for Ames Goldsmiths, which owns the plant, said the facility was scheduled to be closed in June, and Wednesday's incident happened as workers were preparing for the closure. The deadly chemical release prompted a shelter-in-place order at several schools and the closure of area roads. Out of what the officials described as an abundance of caution, the orders were later lifted. Governor Patrick Morrissey said the news conference later Wednesday that there was no known environmental risk to the public. Yeah, it'll H2S will dissipate. It'll just, as long as it's not a big concentrate, it'll dissipate with the air. Based upon all the information that we have available right now, we don't believe there have been compromises to the air quality or the water supply. That's been unaffected by this. That's positive. The State Department of Environmental Protection is responding and will assist in safe disposal of waster materials generated during the cleanup. The state is also coordinating with the federal EPA. Morrissey said the state was supporting the county in anything it needs to in responding to the incident. I said whatever they need, they're going to get. A phone call back and very likely yes in a short period of time, he said. The 2 workers who died were not immediately identified. Autopsies will be conducted. Barber, the president of Ames Goldsmith, said that the company worked closely with investigators and the fumes were contained in one building. Okay. That sucks. Yes. These guys need to know what's in the tank, what's the residue, what's left behind. And if you use what you're going to use, is it going to react with what you're trying to get rid of? Are you trying to clean this tank? Don't use this chemical with this. Yeah. That sucks. No, that's awful. Enough death for now. Let's check this out here. So, like I said, try to make things better for yourself. So this door is held open by a pail. So that's it's good enough, but you know what? There's something better. This is near the infamous Monsanto plant. Oh. I don't like Monsanto. I'm just glad it was a sunny day out today. Got some self-tapping screws. They cut into the metal, and then they're just small enough that the screw falls behind. There we go. Next up, we've got the T-bar. And that'll go right in there and connect to the door. Let's make a few more adjustments. Open the door a bit more. Make it easy to work on. There we go. We'll line up our T-bar. Oh, that one, you gotta hate that when that happens. You're a little off the mark. There we go. Now we just pull the door open a little bit more. That's better. Better than having a pail there. Take the pail, move it off to the side. And now your door is held open with a T-bar. And you do this because it gets too hot inside the buildings. So you just gotta get a little more ventilation in there. So that was one thing I did today. And I tried to make an improvement as well on this. Let's see. There. And there. There we go. So this is another door holder. This is the old style they had on there. Chain and a spring. It would latch onto the door, but it's old and rusted. I don't want that anymore. Here's what we want. Want a quick link. There we go. Grab the smallest adjustable, just to give it a little tweak. There you go. Put in a quick link on this side. We'll move everything out of the way. No, it doesn't quite go in that well. That's okay. I've got a solution for that. Got to make that hole a little bit rounder. Open the door again. There we go. A little bit nicer. They can always shorten it up too. It's chain. Well, that's what you do. You always try to make things a little bit better for yourself. Make small improvements. Helps out everybody. Every little bit helps, I think, anyway. You do the small stuff and all of a sudden everybody's not grumbling about things and they're like, oh, hey, this actually works. This is a lot better than what we were doing. We don't have to trip over these pails. We don't have to deal with that rusty old beaten up chain that we had there. So it's all about making improvements. Stuff you can think of, and it helps you out as well. You always want to make things, a little easier for yourself, a little better. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for me for tonight, everybody. If you're on YouTube, please hit that like button. Anywhere else, tell your friends, spread the word, let them know Pop's here. I'm here every Tuesday night and on the weekends. You can stop on by. Coming up on Saturday, brand new game. I finished Odin Sphere, for those that don't know. Finished Odin Sphere. Great ending to a great game. And I've started Magic Knight Rayearth for the Sega Saturn. And it follows the anime. So if you like the anime, Magic Knight Rayearth, you're going to love the game. You get to play as the Magic Knight Rayearths, or the Magic Knights. So we're in for a good time. I'm all in for it. Coming up on Sunday, brand new month on Sunday means a brand new theme for Sunday Anime Chat. What's the theme for May? I don't know yet. I got to come up with something. So look for me to announce what it will be, and stop on by on Sunday Anime Chat. We'll do the regular stuff. We'll do the news of the week and the rankings and the season of what I'm watching. But for the main event, well, I'll come up with something. And then on Tuesday, we're right back here again. We're looking at things through an industrial point of view. We're checking out the shortage of skilled trades and the accident investigations and more pictures and videos from me. So I hope to see you guys here. But when I'm not streaming, you got to check out these guys. Pacific 414 or DJ Ronnie G, who's in the chat. Brandon the Anime Guy. You can check out Carl. He's coming back to streaming pretty soon, I think in June. There's also Comic Relief Crusader, who's streaming right now. I managed to catch Angry Canadian streaming earlier as well. He was playing some Zelda. Master Quest, I believe. There's also Infinite Metal. He's on Kick and Twitch, and he's probably streaming right now. So I always have a fun time hanging out with Infinite Metal. And then there's a VTuber called Call Me Kixie. She's a very warm, welcoming, family-friendly kind of VTuber who plays indie games. This is on Saturday she does this, and it's a great time. You want a chill stream? Here's your chill stream is right there. Good show until yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, DJ. I was glad to have you all here. It's always great to see new people come by and the old familiar faces. You know, guys that can't be with us right now because they're on the road. I'm talking about you, Fabric. You know, we always miss his commentary, but that's okay. He's a busy veterinarian. He's got those large breed animals to take care of. And there's nobody else to do it around there. So Fabric's a busy fella. But I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I had a good time. It was a great talk, and I hope to see you guys the next time I stream, which will be on Saturday. Stop by, say hi. Have yourselves a great rest of your night. Until the next time I'm streaming, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.